Hello everybody, back again. So, I want to address, I'm a late-stage community advocate and educator, here to educate a little bit, and here to have a little fun. But this was a interview from the school referendum board meeting the other night. But I wanted to touch on this because it says, I don't think that hundreds of millions of dollars, our taxpayer money, should be going to private schools, Music said, referring to the state's private school voucher program. Now, you can do your own research for that. I'm not going to touch on that. But what I am going to clarify is he's trying to inflate the fear of why should we be giving money to private schools? Well, there's a lot of things why we shouldn't be. However, this is what they are actually giving to the schools. In this document, this very clearly shows the proposed renewal of operating referendum. It's the renewal. They're trying to re-push it because they obviously is doing something with money. Now, on this, it shows exactly what they're giving to other school districts. And the reason why is because there's kids that live here that are going to private schools in another city. This is where having Polk Elementary as a charter school would really help, because if there's a lot of kids in other districts that are coming here, that district pays our schools more money per kid. And as you see, that's what they'd get. A substantial amount of more money than what the Boys and Girls Club right now is currently entailing to the city, which they admitted on a school board meeting. They don't know where that $1,500 a month is going. It could be going on trucks, just like they said. They admitted it. They don't even know. No. But that's what's going on with our funding, and that's why. Now, it's not a lot. It's not a ton of money. If you look, it's really, really not. Okay? And if that's the case, they've gotten grant money and other stuff, but they don't know where it went. So let's address a comment that come from a person. So, shouldn't have to pay more in taxes to support their school systems. Personally, I think we all need to stand up against the government. No, what you need to stand up against are the school administrators, the school treasurer, and all of those that are encouraging this behavior from our school administrators with finances and how they're mismanaging and funding and grants and loans and all of these things that's going on. And then you end up having our mayor who's giving them money to keep school sports going, but not education. Now, that's kind of peculiar. And when you go through the school board meetings, the school meeting minutes and things like that, you're going to find that there's a lot of funding. They can find a lot of funding for the school sports and the extracurricular activities, but they can't find none for academic programs. It's kind of weird. Oh, but never mind. Either way, that's just me talking about. You can find that for yourself, as I said. The other thing that I wanted to touch on is they kept talking about transparency. Wow, I love the fact that this presentation is so transparent. And it's so transparent for the residents because they deserve to know. Yes, you're right. I agree. They deserve to know. That's why Mr. T has been trying to use what I've been trying to hold the city accountable and transparent with some responsibility about their money and about the funds and about these things. All of a sudden, they're trying to piggyback what I'm saying. Oh, we'll just steal it from him and say, yeah, we're being transparent. Wrong. You're omitting information. You're not telling the full story, and you don't want to tell the full story because when you tell the full story, people are going to go, ain't no way we're giving you the referendum. Not going to happen. That's why they try so hard with the billboard to try to say that it's not going to raise your taxes. It's not going to this. It's not going to that. And when that tactic doesn't work, it's, oh my gosh, we're going to have to get rid of all these programs and we're going to have to get rid of the school buses completely. And oh my gosh. Well, the school bus situation, 2012 and 2013, they tried to get rid of the school buses then. They tried to start maneuvering people to see how they would respond, to see how they responded to that fear and see what they could get away with and what they couldn't get away with. Recently in 2017, they did the same thing. And here they are again this year doing it again, saying, oh, we're just going to have to get rid of the school buses. Well, you know, it's a funny thing. You hired quite a bit of SROs at $30, $35 an hour. You hired quite a bit of help, even though you're going, well, we need to hire people. You already have. That was in a school board minutes from August. You hired a ton of people. So when you're still screaming, we need money to hire people, we need money for funding, why didn't you take that $50,000 that the mayor gave you and put it on academics and not on extracurricular activities. Because at the end of the day, it's a minuscule opportunity for any kid in a sports team to make it professionally. You have to beat out thousands, tens of thousands of kids. And the only way you're really going to hit pros, you better have something real special above all those kids. So why not focus more on our academics with that $50,000 the city gave us, so it could be used to get up our actual average of our score? Because right now our school score, it ain't good. And the mismanagements of funding and the loans and the grants, I personally feel that as residents, we should probably look into getting a forensic audit of all of the funds, because something isn't right. And that may even stem into the city to find out what's going on with the city, because I know the loans, I know everything they got, the paperwork sitting right there. So there's funding, something's happening to it, something's not right. But I know this much. Me personally, I would like to see the state walk in, the State Department of Education walk in, and the Department of Local Government Finance, and the State Board of Accounts. I would love to see all of them walk in, because that would be an amazing thing to be able to clear out, air out, and renew our school board. Because getting these people on the school board that are all cronies and friends with the same group that has slowly destroyed this town and sucked it dry for funds is now happening to our school. Sorry, it's the truth. It's there, and people can see it, but it's time for you all to start standing up. So let's actually hold them accountable for their dealings. Let's start holding them a little responsible for how they're dealing. Let's pull a little transparency out of them to be fully honest, because they're not being. I'm the Lake Station community advocate and educator, here just to kind of educate a little bit more. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Have a great day. Be the change you want to be the change you want to see. Challenge the status quo, because if you don't, you never know what you can achieve on your own and together as a community for better things. Be an eagle. Don't be a crow. Till next time.